what is the response to what Biden had to say? The rhetoric, the substance. The Republicans obviously are not going to just stand up and applaud. They didn't applaud cutting, child poverty in half. They're not going to applaud most of his big plans, certainly. They have to respond with something. And the initial attempts from a lot of their politicians, I would describe as a bit fumbling. So for instance, Senator Marsha Blackburn tweeted in response to an article, or in response to his call for universal daycare, which would be massive for so many families, the amount of money that you spend. So huge idea. She doesn't want people to get excited about that. So she tweeted, you know who else likes universal daycare? And it's a 1974 article about the Soviet Union. Okay.
John, I loved your tweet response to that. Do you remember what you tweeted?
Yeah, it was the Soviets ate food, therefore I shall not. Yeah, the Soviets liked lots of things. They liked hugs and ice cream. It's okay to like those things. And I love the idea that how many constituents does she have? How many parents? How many parents that are paying $1,000?
Who's going to be against this, John?
Who's going to read her tweet and be like, good point. I would love to not spend $1,000 a month on this, but that's true. Khrushchev was in favor of it, so I don't want to be.
Yeah.
It's
but there is something to look at when you see what other countries have done in regards to childcare, and there were failures. There were, centers that weren't strong enough, they weren't skilled enough. So we can learn from that. Just because something wasn't necessarily 100% successful in the past, it doesn't mean we can't adapt. We don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's a perfect analogy.
Yeah. Especially if the Soviets did it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that was what Bowman was talking about too, to go back now that I didn't mix it up. We have to push forward for these kinds of things. And so it's exciting to hear it being discussed. Will it be implemented? Probably not, because when it comes down to pay that bill, everybody seems to think it's too expensive. But you got to invest in the kids. If we want to solve homelessness, if we want to solve all these things, we have to start at the beginning. You can't just wait until it's in flames.
Yeah, very worried about what's going to end up being left in that infrastructure bill, assuming anything passes. But we will continue to talk about that. I do want to broaden it a bit though. So Marsha Blackburn, not in favor of the universal daycare, which good luck with that rhetorical battle. But then, okay, what about the rest of it? Because there's a lot that he wants to do in this new plan that would, in a number of different ways, help people out. People who are struggling, working multiple jobs, they need help on things like healthcare and stuff like that. It doesn't go as far as I would want, but it's a lot more than we have now. So what is her initial attempt to convince the American people to turn against all of this new relief coming? Here's what she's got.
This would do is incentivize women to rely on the federal government to organize their lives. It takes away from them the ability to organize their family life as they would like to organize it.
Yeah, none of that is true. So the idea
so offensive. It's so offensive.
Like, okay, so now
as a woman, a childless woman, I'm still offended.
So
go ahead,
let's say in theory, you were gonna have some kids. And then throughout your life, you have two potential worlds. You have the current world where you have to cover all the childcare. It potentially affects your career in a negative fashion. When they wanna go to college, they're gonna go massively in debt for it. So in this other world, we help to defray those costs. Sorry, Viviana, you've lost the ability to organize your life. She said, by the way, later in the video, it would force you to rely on the federal government. 2 years of college, whether you like it or not. Year 3 pre-K mandated takes away choices from the American people. Like, literally none of that is true. It doesn't mandate any of that. It makes it available if you want it. She literally wants to take away the option.
She's literally taking away choices. And guess what, Marsha? Women are working anyway. It's already affecting them. Very few families have the luxury to have one stay-at-home parent. Very few families. And they're relying on neighbors and relatives and all kinds of friends just to get food on the table, and for her to sit there and act like it's gonna be some crutch, like women are just gonna leave their families. And also, why are we talking just about women, Marsha? There are men who are parents too. People need childcare because we have not raised the minimum wage. Hello? And not just the minimum wages. All wages haven't raised. Everything's going up, cost of living increasing, jumping, a mile a minute. No one's getting raises over here. I've made the least amount I've made in 20 years in some cases. So for her to say that we're taking away choices by giving choices, I really don't even understand what she's saying. Mandatory school? Who said that? Who said you have to go to college? Nobody said that. So
but the idea, it does play into a lot of people who watch Fox News have been convinced for decades that higher education is the worst thing, and they associate it just with liberal propaganda to your kids, as at the state level they try to stop certain things from being taught and everything. But anyway, they wanted you to believe, oh, they're gonna make your kids get turned into libs against you.
Yeah.
And this is so far the best counter argument they have. And I get it. The American people have very little expectation for their government, and but I don't know, like there's a lot of people who are suffering when potential relief is dangled in front of them. The idea that they're just going to say, no, screw that, I don't want it because of Stalin. Okay, if that's the best you've got, then let's see.
It's a lot of misinformation. I saw it's a lot of radio stations. There's a local one here in LA talking about the child tax credit that they're calling it another stimulus check, which in some ways it is, but it's a child tax credit coming to families. And so people, without knowing anything about what's going on, oh, no one's gonna wanna work anymore. I mean, this is just comment after comment after comment. And so this is the misinformation that's coming out, that people are just gonna be sedentary and are not gonna work. I even saw a story that a bunch of asparagus went bad because they didn't have anybody to come and work in the fields. Does that have to do with people getting unemployment, or does that have to do with the crisis at the border? Because we used to have a pretty fluid workforce coming through and taking advantage of, being migrant workers. And so there's a lot of variables, but it just seems like the GOP, I'm gonna change their name to Gaslight Obsessed Party, because they just wanna trick you all the time. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.